Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. You're watching iAllegedly. And got a good one for you today. I'm in Newport. I'm on the other side of Balboa Island near the channel. And today we're going to cover Hit the Road, Jack. Time to get out. Time to go. Hurry. Out of here now. So before I get into it, please take a second. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. And today we have a sponsor, which is Patriot Gold Group, and I will talk about them a little bit later. But first things first, guys. Great story was sent to me out of Seattle. And what you're experiencing with Seattle right now is a flurry of people that are ready to leave. They're sick of everything. They're sick of the problems with the police. They're sick of the problems with the infrastructure. They're sick of the problems with, crime. They're sick of the problems with people, sleeping on the streets, everything. How about this? 37% of the people in Seattle said they would leave the city. 37. Now, here's the problem. When you have a business, when you have a municipality, when you have a city, state, country, whatever, you have to have an infrastructure built around it to keep people, happy. And people don't want to have crime. And this is the problem you're seeing in New York City, and you're seeing in the beautiful city of Seattle. Now, here's what's funny about this. I had the opportunity to go to Seattle in this is August, and they reached out, hey, maybe you can shoot here. We've got a baseball game we'd like you to see. We'd like you to go see this ferry and do this and do that. We'll take you to Pike's Fish Market. And then they're like, hey, listen, when you go out and shoot, can you have security with you? I'm like, what? Well, yeah, just so you're safe. I'm like, you're kidding, right? Well, no, it's, we want to make sure that there's not an issue. Well, why would there be an issue? So as I started to research the areas that they have, crime has spiked fivefold in these areas. And people get robbed, people get cell phones stolen, people get things taken from them. So the last thing that I'm going to be doing is going any place right now that I would need security. I won't go to Mexico right now, guys. I won't go to New York. I don't want to go to a Yankee game, okay? Sorry. Call me anything you want. But no, I don't want to worry about my safety. Now, some jackass was riding a scooter through New York City over the weekend and decided to shoot from his scooter at people randomly, okay? And the reason for this, and the reason for Chicago, the reason for San Francisco, and the reason for, let's throw Portland in there too, and any other city that's bad, Seattle as well, because there's no consequences for these criminals. They want to have a federal law where you can have outdoor camping, okay? Now, I'm in a shipyard. It's kind of slow this morning, okay? So, but hey, you know what? I want to camp here. There's a grass area right there, okay? Myrtle Park. Let's go park there. Myrtle, because the woman that owned that restaurant, her name was Myrtle. But anyways, no. You got to have an infrastructure. You got to have decorum. You got to have a safety, okay? So Seattle's lost its compass, guys, just like so many other cities have. But what's going to happen is they're going to do one thing. They're going to raise taxes on the businesses. You will pay more. The one thing that they can't do here that they would love to do would be to raise property taxes here, because basically 1%, unless you've got mellow roofs. If you agreed to have streets, roads, schools, and things like that built, you can pay an additional percent, where these people can have these master plan communities. How big and beautiful that boat is they're working on. You can have 2% on your taxes, which 2% is no big deal then. Well, it's a big deal if your house is $2 million and you're paying $40,000 a year for oxygen, for air, for nothing, okay? For taxes, okay? So Seattle's lost its compass. 37% want to leave because of crime. 34% want to leave because there's no opportunities. Again, 1/3, 33%, say that they would like to move their business out of the Seattle area. This is what you're going to see happen with these cities. When do people stop voting for this stuff? Seriously, when do you sit there and say enough is enough. Okay, how about this? The little YouTube extravaganza they wanted to set up with all these people and stuff, there would have probably been half a dozen of us, you know, wives, girlfriends, kids. What do you think we would have spent money-wise? Thousands of dollars, hotels, food, restaurants, drinks, baseball games, everything. No, not a dime. Now, they lose that. Airline tickets, everything gets lost in not going to a municipality like that. Okay? So either people get it or they don't. And then you throw in crime and you throw in safety, and the answer is no. No, I'd rather stay home. Okay? I'd rather walk amongst an area like this. Okay? It's really weird to see people spend this kind of money, because think about this. That's a brand new boat, guys. Okay, who's buying that? Who's buying that? Who's stepping up and buying this brand new, beautiful boat that's never been put in the water? How about this thing? Look at that. Just getting it ready for somebody. Some businessman or woman, family. People are going to enjoy that. Okay? But just a different way of thinking. Okay? It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Michael Mills in Ocean Beach is a landlord. And Ocean Beach is in San Diego. And he owns 2 large properties. And what's fascinating is he is applying for short-term rentals like Airbnbs. He's trying to turn all his properties. You guys see across the bay over there? You got everybody hanging out on the beach out there. Just a beautiful day. So this guy has applied for 114 short-term rental units for his properties. And the problem with this is that his tenants in the rest of the units are like, wait a second, you're going to kick us out. Because think about this. Let's just do like round numbers. Let's say Mr. Mills can get $2,500 a month rent for these apartments. It's close to the beach. It's an older community, older units. But he could Airbnb these places. Times like this, he could get $8,000-9,000 per unit over the course of a month. And he'll have some vacancies here and there. Maybe he'll only get $5,000 or $6,000, but he'll easily double his money for each of those units. Why would he not be able to do that? Why would he not want to do that? You know? Because let's face it, somebody breaks a unit, paid a deposit, they're going to clean it, they dirty it, it's going to keep the deposit. And then you just do it over and over again. And let's face it, people love to come to places like this. You know, it's just what they do. So you're going to see more and more things like this. And I find that fascinating. But have you seen these short-term rentals spike? And you're seeing them more and more in places like the beach communities. God, man, I'm telling you, I like to go to a hotel. I like, the infrastructure of a hotel. I like being able to call the desk and ask questions and not deal with an app and a computer and the stuff that other people have told me about. It just seems like there's a lot more headaches with the Airbnbs, but some people like it, So share your thoughts on this stuff so far. We're seeing crazy, crazy things. One thing that happened since yesterday's video is that with all the self-driving talk for Tesla and these cars, one thing that you're seeing quite a bit of is you're seeing Tesla wanting to have people do the experience online and do the experience as far as being a driver and driving experiences and data research and things like this. You can get a job at Tesla driving one of their cars where they'll give you a vehicle and they will pay you as little as $18 an hour up to almost $50 an hour to drive these cars and do these this data so they can have these self-driving cars. Now, this led to other things. In the side hustle world that we live in right now and people wanting to make money, I've met so many people. I've met bank managers who are like, hey, I'm trying this, I'm trying that. What do you think of this? As far as, different property management things online where you can manage people and you can manage different websites and, do experiences from, I've seen people make money where they review websites. Sounds ridiculous, where they go out and all they do is they're given, 12, 25 websites a day. They go through it and review the experience, log in, sign in. They give you an email that you can have access to, and then you go experience these people's website. Then you write a review on it, and then they pay you for that. You can do that from the privacy of your own home. You can do that at midnight too. You don't have to sit there and be up at night, and punch a clock and do things like that. There used to be a lot of things with personal shoppers where you could go out and you'd walk into the fast food place and rate it, check the food, buy, go to Taco Bell, for example, and buy 4 tacos, a burrito, have a custom order on 2 of the items and see how they did, write it up, check the food temperature, check all this stuff to make sure that it's served properly, fast, the soda with the proper amount of ice in it, things like that. It sounds ridiculous, but it was really important when they cared about our experience. Now they don't care about our experience. They could care less if you're there right now. But these experiences like Tesla, having you go and drive a car, how cool would that be? Okay, now there have been horrific things that have happened with this. The self-driving people that just sit there and drive in the car and sleep in the car, that's not what the goal is. The goal is to have you interact with the vehicle and see how it's maintaining and how it's reacting to certain things and writing reports and things like that so they can use that data for future sales. Okay, so interesting though. But once again, guys, crime is going to kill everything. The fact that people are not punished for this stuff is going to be the kiss of death when it comes to your company, your city, municipalities, everything. People need to be prosecuted for these things. People need to pay a price handsomely for this stuff. So share your thoughts on this right now. Let me know what you think. Would you go to Seattle? Or do you agree with this? Should people leave this stuff? Portland, everything. It's getting worse right now. Let's talk about our sponsor, Patriot Gold Group. Think about this stat. From June 1st until July 6th, 2023, the U.S. debt rose by over $1 trillion. Okay, does that not concern you at all? What are you going to do to protect yourself and protect your family? The best thing that you can do is look at getting gold as a hedge against inflation and against this reckless government spending that we're all a victim of. Our children's children's children will be paying this back. You need to call Patriot Gold today at 888-330-1431 and get a free investor guide on how you can get an IRA, 401k, or just buy gold to protect your investments and to protect your retirement. Call them today. Do it before it's too late. Let them know that I allegedly sent you. But when you hear these numbers, they are staggering, folks. They just are. And the one thing that we are about to enter is a super cycle for commodities. So many experts have said that you need to get yourself into metals, and the best thing to do is to get your retirement fund backed by physical metals. Call them today. 888-330-1431. Let them know that I allegedly sent you. I'm not just a spokesman doing the national commercials, doing commercials here on YouTube. I'm also a client of theirs, and I love the company, and their customer service is fantastic. Use the link below or call them today. Now, here and around the world, there's a lot of disturbing things that are happening that we get wind of later. And the Saudi National Bank wanted to buy 40% of Credit Suisse. And the regulators somewhere had the sense to stop that. Could you imagine these guys owning that much of a bank and having control of the oil the way that they do? And it'd be the worst type of monopoly ever, because it would just control everything. And they already have the money down, so what's the difference if they own a bank? It's ridiculous. It really is. And one thing that you're seeing is commercial real estate is taking such a huge toll globally. Now, yes, there are pockets that are doing well, and there are certain places that are performing brilliantly. But when you look at places like Manhattan, why is Manhattan suffering right now when they have a 21% vacancy rate right now, which is unheard of, guys? It is such a high figure. It's It's record setting right now. But again, during the last economic downturn, the Great Recession, we haven't seen numbers like this, but we're not in a recession right now, guys. Things are not bad. Things, you know, they could get bad, but they're not bad now. You're kidding yourself. So that's the other thing, is if you guys have rent right now and there's any wiggle room to renegotiate anything, you need to do that now. You need to ask for everything you can right now, because that's the one thing that you're starting to see is people that ask, then they get it, because they're not going to offer you anything. They could care less. They want you to pay more. You're not paying enough. So, oh, you want less? You want more for less? Okay, I guess we're going to have to talk about that. The number of people that are turning commercial properties back to the bank is growing. When you read the article below, there are so many office buildings that are bank owned right now. And you guys, it can't work this way. You can't have it to where the banks own, you know, a piece of property. They have to be managed by a management company. There's an art to this. There's an art to dealing with tenants and dealing with security and safety and everything, you know. Let the banks be the banks. They've screwed up enough. So, you know, share your thoughts on this stuff so far. A couple things I wanted to talk to you guys about. We have done a lot of work with Joseph Dream House, the charity out of Florida. Fran Glover runs this charity, and what it does is it puts together food for people that are hungry. And basically she puts together meals for them and passes out meals to families. Single individuals, people with kids, retirees, everybody. Fran has run into a bit of a dilemma where the air conditioning unit for her building went out and she has to pay for this herself. So we're going to try to raise some money for Fran and try to get donations for Joseph Dream House. It is an amazing organization. It is a 501c3, and it is just a absolute fantastic group. But if you can give anything, use the link below and give to Fran's organization to help her get the air conditioning unit fixed immediately. Plus, we have a secondary channel that I want to remind people about, iAllegedly Live. iAllegedly Live is the second channel that we have that's for the live streams that are going to be coming up and the new stuff that's going to be coming up with the app and the show and things like that. So I'm going to leave the link below. Please sign up for the secondary channel. A couple of older videos on there. We'll add some stuff this week for there. But please check out iAllegedly Live as well. You know, all this talk about water rights that I covered a couple days ago brought up all these articles about safe drinking water and how important that is and who's got the best drinking water. Kentucky. Okay, article below. Kentucky. Is your state on the list of great drinking water? That's what a Brit is for, guys. So remember that. The other thing is, in Nevada, I can't even believe this made the news. Somebody complained about somebody's license plate. And here's something that's fascinating about California. Here in California, you can buy someone's license plate. You can bid on a custom license plate, you know. My mother was a Dodger fan before she passed away, and she had my Dodgers that was spelled funky. She probably could have sold that to some degenerate Dodger fan, you know, could have watched them fight over the license plate, okay? But there was a license plate in Nevada that was Go BK, the number 2 CA. Go back to California. Like, we don't want you here. Go back to California. Someone complained to the Department of Motor Vehicles in Nevada, which is a joke. By the way, I bought a car from somebody that lived in Nevada and had to deal with that experience. Wow, that's a stellar organization, the Nevada DMV. Okay, so anyways, they complained about this, so now this person has to go to a public hearing for this. But it brought up the license plate sales, and that, you know, people that have like the dollar sign, it'll be like, the guy will be a certain type of foot doctor, foot DR, you know, things like that. These get a tremendous amount of money. What is the most expensive license plate that somebody ever purchased? Was MM, for a non-fungible token, was $24.5 million for MM. Okay, MM, the 2 letters, MM. Somebody bought that for one of those NFTs. Okay, so isn't that great? They paid $24.5 million. The NFT is probably worth 40 cents right now, but That's what's crazy. People will pay for things like that, and I don't know. I'm always amazed at things like that people can waste their money on stuff like that. So, you guys ever know anybody that bought a custom license plate from somebody else, from a private party? So, share your thoughts. Plus, California, we're one of the only places that you can have a digital license plate. You have to buy it through these certain companies, and they're like black images, and you can program it and things like that. So, ooh. Well, the only problem is you have to program it to what your license plate's supposed to be. So it's not like you can, you know, program cool sayings or, you know, go away or, you know, honk if you like me, you know, anything like that. You can't do stuff like that. Or go back to NV. You can't do, you know, do that. So anyways, I thought somebody's kind of petty for the go back to CA thing. And I thought maybe it was go BK to California. You know what I mean? So anyways, share your thoughts. One thing that we have a real problem with clearly is homelessness, and they keep raising tax dollars and giving money to fight homeless programs. Like Los Angeles just got $1.3 billion more to fight the homeless problem. Oh, they're going to do it this time. It's going to be great. Then you get a company like Pallet. Pallet is a startup that builds these tiny homes basically on pallets, a little bit bigger, but the idea with them is they're inexpensive and they could be set up so where you could have a lot of tiny homes in an area like this parking. Let me whip around for you guys. Like that, you could throw 50 homes in an area like that. And the problem with that is that, you know, the city of Los Angeles would probably spend $600,000 on something like that per unit, or $65,000. It'd just be insane, the money that they would waste. But these small startup homes are great to get people off the street, and this company's doing a good job with it. But it led down another story, which was a woman named McKean Matson, who, when she was young, you know, she liked to go and build forts and go sleep in the backyard. So she's like, you know what, why do I pay rent? Why don't I just go build a tiny house in my parents' backyard and save money to go buy a house? And she went and did that, and a couple years later saved herself enough money to buy a $250,000 house by not paying rent and by not, you know, utilities and squandering things like that. So there's value in stuff like this. People are not resourceful. I shouldn't say not everybody, but people don't understand. It's sacrifice to get yourself out of debt. It's sacrifice to go buy a $250,000 house. But that's what people need to do. They need to work on this, and just throw money at these communities is awful, because it's not working. It's not fair that our tax dollars are there. And then you have crime and things like that. And there's a man, think about this, a utility grate, which is got a power station. The man lifts up the power station, and a camera caught him climbing down inside of it, and they thought he was there to sabotage it. No, he'd been living there for months. He lives inside of a storage grate. Okay? So, lunacy, guys. That's what this world's coming to. Now, the problem with these programs, these hotel vouchers and giving people all this stuff, they don't respect it. They don't treat it well. Okay? You know, you can't put them in shelters. It's not fair. You can't call them homeless. You've got to call them unhoused. It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. But we're supposed to be victimized by this and have this crime and everything just surge the way it's been lately. So, share your thoughts, guys. I want to know what you think about that. I'm going to finish this video with these last few stories. And we're going to have a lot of great news coming out this week as far as inflation, interest rates, things like that. But they're talking about how we may never see interest rates down to the level that we have in the last 15 years ever again. And a great story below as to why that may be the case. Morningstar, the advisors, are talking about how home affordability will be unaffordable for at least 2 more years. You will not see houses be affordable to the average person for 2 years. That's crazy. Another great story below. A story that I wanted to talk about a lot was the student loan forgiveness. There were so many people out there waiting to have their loans forgiven that there was a man named Jarrett. Jarrett went out and got $60,000 in student loan debt. During the health crisis, the student loan debt, he got into forbearance, and it went to $80,000 in debt that he owes now. Uh-oh. That interest is just a killer. Then he decided to get his MBA. That didn't work out, he said. And now he owes $101,000, and he wants Joe Biden to forgive it. So You first. Give me $101,000, guys. Okay? Jared has a problem getting a job, maintaining, consistent employment. It just didn't work out the way he thought it would. He got himself into a career and an industry that he didn't say was profitable. And again, he didn't say what that was, but $101,000 in debt. I will never get out of this, he said. That's crazy. Final thing. It's a great study about watermelon and how great watermelon is for you. It's great to help you lose weight. It's great because of the moisture in it. It's low in calorie. But I'll tell you guys a story. When my girlfriend was alive and she had liver cancer in 2015 and they thought she was going to pass away imminently, within days, they gave her an excessive amount of watermelon that she ate all the time, and when she couldn't keep any of the food down. And we've joked about how watermelon saved her life, and it literally did. So the moisture in it helped her, and then her liver cancer ended up going away, and she ended up passing away from other things. But, eat watermelon, guys. It's good for you. So please do not forget to hit the like button. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget, if you signed up for Christmas in May, check your spam filter, because a great email went out yesterday, and you don't want to miss that. Okay? Onward and upward, guys. I will see you guys very soon. Like, subscribe, all that stuff, and join the email list. You don't want to miss out on great things that are happening. Plus, a lot of cool things that are coming up, guys.